Hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Modding Tutorials. And in this this is going to be another part of the Advanced Block series. And in this episode I'm going to show you how to make a block that makes you bounce up when you walk over it. So obviously the first thing we're going to want to do in our mod underscore class is make a new block. So public static final, check out my Getting Started series if you don't know what I'm doing here. It shows you how to make a basic block. So public static final block, we're going to call it Bouncy equals new block, and then we will make a new class in a second called block bounce, and then that is going to take one parameter of the ID, which we'll set to 150, and then we also want to set the block name. So dot set block name like so. Yeah, like that. So that's basically a simple block, and we'll put the usual methods in. So modloader.register block. We should have a capital R on it, and we want modloader dot add name Bouncy, and finally we just want to make a quick recipe. So modloader dot add shapeless recipe. Also check out my Getting Started series if you want to know how to make a new recipe as well. Bouncy space 64. So we'll just make a recipe that makes 64 bouncy blocks if you give it 1 block dirt. Block dot dirt, and that needs a capital S. Right, now what we want to do is, if we just go over this in Eclipse and create class block bouncy, it will create us a new class automatically with that name, or you can just right click at the side and click new class and then name it. So this wants to extend block, and then you'll get an error here, and you just want to add the constructor, as the block class requires a constructor. And we can take out material and just set it to material dot sand like so. And then to make it bouncy, so that's basically just how to make a simple block. To make it bouncy, we want to make a new method, which is going to be a void method, and it's going to be called onEntity walking. And then the variables it will take is world, then an integer of x, an integer of y, and integer of y, and an integer of z, and then the final one is an entity, and we'll just call it entity. Then now you can see we have no errors. If we type @override at the top, we should have no errors, as this method onEntity walking is within the block class. As long as you have all these parameters exactly the same, or all these variables the same as what I've got them, then you shouldn't get any errors. Then you want entity, so you want this, whatever you called that entity object, so entity dot motion y, which is the up and down motion, and then you want to plus equals a number, so for example 2.0, and you shouldn't have a space in between them, sorry. So basically what this is saying is, when the entity is walking over this block, the motion y of that entity will be increased by 2.0. So basically the motion y is the up and down, so it will be increased by 2.0, so you will jump 2.0. I think 2.0d, doesn't really matter. We can make this as high or as low as we want. So if we set it to 1.0 for example, then save that, then quickly run it in debug mode, And I'll just stretch this out a bit for you. And then grab our block, which is here. Magic, it's already there. Now you can see if we go on it, we bounce up about 5-10 blocks. I don't really know. We can actually test how many it is. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 5 blocks. If we made it 2.0, obviously it would go up to 10 blocks. Or if we made it something stupid, like 100.0, as you can see, it sends you very, very high, and we can't actually see the ground. However, when we come back down, eventually, as you can see, everything's orange because the sun is setting, which looks pretty cool actually. And as you can tell, this has sent me up about, I think it's about 500 blocks. And anytime soon we will start seeing the floor, hopefully. Come on. At the moment I can just see stars and a little bit of orange. Maybe that's a little too much. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest setting it to that. I presume I'm moving down. Oh, there we go. Here's the floor. And there is my block. I wouldn't suggest doing it that high. Maybe something more like 10 would be a bit more easy to manage. So if we go up 10, as you can see, it sends you pretty high, but we can still just about see the floor down here. Obviously when you fall you will take damage, but I'm in creative mode at the moment. If I was you, I wouldn't try this, but if we make it minus equals 10, means we're going to go down. Or it should mean we're going to go down. Apparently not. Okay, that doesn't seem to really be doing anything. I think it's, yeah. Or if we were to set entity dot let's see here. Is clouded horizontally equals false? Maybe. Or not, that doesn't really seem to be doing anything. Never mind. Obviously, if you want to make it do other things, you can just look through this list and change it to do things when you go on that block. So we can make it kill you. So we could do that. So when you walk on it, you spaz out for some reason. Okay, that didn't really work. Okay then. It seems to kind of make things go all weird. Okay, I wouldn't try doing that. For some reason it puts me into fly mode. Dots. You could change any of these to anything really. Drop item. Block dots. Dirt dot block ID, comma space 1. Let me just see what this does. So if I have a dirt block in my inventory, where's there's dirt. And I walk on this block. It seems, yeah, that worked. So if I walk on this block now, you can see it drops a dirt block. So yeah, kind of a dispensary kind of thing. That's kind of weird. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope that helps with your mods. In the next tutorial, we will be looking at the basic things. So, for example, dot set resistance and things like that. So, thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitter if you want to keep updated. And check out my mods. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in my next video.